Hello everyone, my name is Urmi and I want to welcome you all to my channel where I talk about career, finance, self-investing, self-growth, and I also give tips on how to learn languages, being myself also someone who knows many languages, and I create content both in English and in Italian. So make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button. So today I'll be talking about the CFA program, and in specific I'll be talking about the CFA level 1 exam, and I want to provide some tips on how to study for it. So I took the CFA level 1 exam in June 2019 and I passed it at the first shot. And when I signed up for it, I was very hesitant because I was never sure if this is what I wanted to do. I would hear people saying like, I failed the exam, this is not made for me, this takes too much time, and I wasn't sure what to do. And after talking to the right people and to the people that actually hold the CFA program, I decided to go for it. So I signed up for the level 1 exam in I think it was in August 2018, and I started to study for it right from September 2018. So I literally gave myself a year to study for it, and also because I didn't want to waste any time, and also because I wanted to increase the probability of passing the exam. So this is my first tip for you: is start as early as you can and give yourself enough time so that you do not cram everything at the last minute and you don't feel stressed if there is, I don't know, 1 month left and you feel like you haven't covered all the readings. And then what I did is I started with the most difficult topics. So I think it was fixed income, I think ethics, then the accounting part, and then I did the least difficult one towards the end, so that in this way, I would get rid of the most difficult part. And sometimes, if you leave the most difficult topics towards the end, it might take you maybe more time to understand like the topics, the concept, and so forth. So that's my second tip for you. Then I also studied ethics throughout the whole period. So I know a lot of people say, "Oh, leave ethics toward the end. It's just theory." But honestly, I disagree with that, because ethics, I think a lot of people think it's easy because it's theory, but it's probably the most difficult topic in the whole CFA program. And what I would suggest to do is to read those standards and to practice as much as you can throughout the whole period. So do it. So start with ethics at the beginning, revise it in the middle, and then revise it one more time towards the end. And for ethics, it's very crucial that you practice as much as you can, because it doesn't matter how many times you read those standards, you will always screw up the questions. So it's important that you practice and you make notes of all the errors that you make and revise those mistakes. So that's my third tip. Then I would suggest to have a plan, or to schedule some hours during the day. So the way I would do it is that I would make sure to get at least 3 to 4 hours per day during the week, and then I would study probably 8 to 9 hours during the weekend. So I would basically cut all the social distractions, no parties, and like no messaging, no nothing. And I would make sure to get those hours done, especially during the week, because I work full time and I have other bunch of things that I do in my personal life, that sometimes I needed to have an agenda, I needed to have a schedule to make sure that I was getting those hours done. So for instance, I would study for the CFA like during my lunchtime. I would do problems, or when I would take the metro, I would listen to a lecture so that at least, if I couldn't get the 3 hours, I would get at least an hour or two. And then when I would come home, if I had time, I would practice some problems. So that's another tip that I want to share with you. And I practice a lot from the curriculum and also from the Schweizer. That's a third-party provider that I used to study, and I didn't read any of the materials from the curriculum. For instance, like I never read school books either. So I mean, I don't think by reading some school books you learn everything. The way I like to learn is by watching lectures or by listening to the lectures. And I watched a lot of lectures from IFT, where the professor, I feel like he really simplifies the difficult concept, and I totally recommend him. He's very, very good. I know a lot of people use Mark Meldrum. I used him as well, but sometimes I was not able to understand everything he was explaining, so I would stick to the guy from my IFT, who was much better. So I would basically follow the lectures from IFT, and then I would basically practice as much as I could. And basically during the week, the way I would do is that during the week I would go over all the new topic, all the new readings, and then during the weekend I would basically just practice from different sources. And what else did I do? So I did the Schweizer, I did the curriculum, I did the problems from the CFA Institute that are provided on the portal. So those are very important, and also do the mocks that the CFA Institute gives you. And yeah, I really use all the materials that were provided from the CFA Institute, because I think those are the most reliable one. And even for Schweizer, I would just use it for the problems. I would not read stuff from it, for instance. And lastly, so make sure to start early enough so that you can give at least, give yourself maybe 2 months or a month before the exam. Well, I would say maybe 2 months, just to like revise and practice. And I think what's even more important about the whole CFA program is that because there is so much that you have to study, and it's so like condensed in like 10 readings, really just really make sure to revise all the topics that you study in a constant manner. Because for instance, I started to study in September, so by the time I gave the exam, it was like a year already. So I would always, you always fall into the trap that you might forget what you have studied. So always make sure to give yourself an hour a day, or maybe just a weekend, just to revise everything that you have studied, so that all the concepts are fresh in your mind. And yeah, and I think that's it. Those are pretty much all my tips that I have. And probably just one more that I want to share is that do not start the CFA program just because you feel the social pressure, or just because you see all your friends in the circle doing the CFA program, and then you feel pressure to do it. Just follow what is right for you, and just follow what's in line with your goals and what you want to do in life. Because I know a lot of people that start with the CFA program, and then after they fail level 1, they're so demotivated, they don't want to continue with it. They find that it's like a waste of time, it's a lot of sacrifices. But honestly, like, no one forces you to go into this program, it's your choice. So just make sure that to do your research, to learn from other people what is their opinion about it, and then make a decision and see if this is right for you. Because it's also a lot of money besides the time, so just make sure to make the right decision. And if you have any questions, so those are all my tips. So if you have any question, make sure to leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to answer those. And that's all. So I will see you all next time. Bye bye.